A teenager who says she was raped by a group of San Diego State football players during an off-campus party is talking exclusively with CBS 8.
No criminal charges have been filed in the case more than 9 months after the alleged assault. CBS 8's David Goffredson talked to the young woman who says she was only 17 when 5 college students raped her in a bedroom during a Halloween party.
I was dressed as a fairy. It was a several-piece costume. It was wings, it was a skirt, it was a top.
The woman who just turned 18 this month asked not to be identified. She claims she was raped by several San Diego State football players inside this house less than a half-mile away from the SDSU campus. She was 17 years old at the time and a senior in high school.
I arrived at the party. I had already been drinking with the friends that I arrived there with, and when I walked into the party, I was approached by someone who then gave me a drink and introduced themselves. I was already very intoxicated.
She told me the man who she believes was a senior at SDSU led her into a bedroom where several teammates were waiting. She remembers being thrown down face first on the bed.
In the room, I was in and out of consciousness. It's very hard to piece together the details of what was done to me, but there were several men taking turns basically assaulting me aggressively.
She says the assault lasted about an hour and left her covered in blood.
I stumbled out of the room after the assault and found my friend, who took me outside, and I was bawling my eyes out, and they asked me what happened, and I immediately told them I had just been raped.
The woman told me she reported the assault to San Diego police on Monday, October 18th. The next day, her father also filed a report to San Diego State University police, but they told him San Diego Police Department was handling the investigation.
I had severe bruising on my neck, all over my body. They took DNA samples of everything. It was a really long process, pictures of all the marks that had been left on me.
Later, San Diego police had the woman telephone the football players who detectives had identified as suspects, and they recorded the telephone calls.
Most of them tried to tell me that it was my fault, that I was at the party, that I wanted it, that I was going around to everyone telling them that I wanted to have sex.
Now those so-called pretext phone calls will be used as evidence as the woman and her attorney, Dan Gillian, prepare to file a lawsuit.
This young woman was trapped inside a room with 5 guys, and she was bloody when she came out. And she told everybody she was raped. So I think that's pretty damning evidence. I think that the pretext calls where the guys either admitted to it or lied, that's pretty damning too.
Now, the question that everyone wants to know is, why haven't criminal charges been filed in this case? What's taking so long? No arrests have been made. Early on, San Diego State said they were asked by San Diego police to leave the investigation to them. San Diego police will not comment on the investigation. The district attorney's office tells us criminal charges have not been handed over to them. So nobody really knows what's going on and why no arrests have been made. But now, 9 months later, that woman I spoke to today is really wondering if criminal charges are ever going to be filed in this case, and she's going ahead with a lawsuit.
These are pretty horrific and specific allegations. The young lady mentioned DNA evidence being collected. What do we know about the DNA evidence from this case?
More frustration. The cops won't tell her what they found from the DNA testing. And so Dan and her attorney is now trying to get that evidence released.
Not a pretty picture. Hope to get more clarity on this. David Goffredson reporting live for us. Thanks, David.